Well, I think this is going to be a great game, Skip. I think the offenses obviously are going to figure it out, but these are two great defenses that are going to find a way to get stops late in the game. I think it's going to be tied up late in this game, and Patrick Mahomes is going to have the football, and he's going to do what Patrick Mahomes somehow always does in the playoffs and drive his team down the field for a game-winning field goal. I got the Chiefs winning 27-24.
27-24, says Richard Sherman.
That's it.
Keyshawn.
Well, it's all good. It's Lamar's time, Skip. It really, truly is Lamar's time. Now, whether or not he wins the Super Bowl, I have no idea at this moment in time. I think he advances, though, to the AFC Championship game. And I understand what Richard is saying. Richard felt that on the other end against the San Francisco 49ers and Kansas City Chiefs. So he has firsthand knowledge about having Patrick Mahomes come back and do what he needs to do.
Yes, I do.
But in this situation, I just feel like it's Lamar's time. Like it's his time. It's his arrival. It's almost like Patrick Mahomes is going to hand him the keys to the AFC for this year. Say, hey, man, I got a new car. Why don't you drive it while I go chill? That's what it feels like, just based on the body of work and the way that Lamar has performed this year, and especially the way he performed in the second half of the playoffs. When you look at his numbers in the playoffs and his efficiency and everything that he did didn't have gaudy 500 yards throwing the football, but it was nice 200-plus total yards and 4 touchdowns and no turnovers. To me, it just feels like Kansas City, not in Kansas City, but in Baltimore, that they're going to lose this game 31-27, and that's going to be Lamar going to the Super Bowl, and everybody will be happy. They'll get off his back about what type of quarterback he is and all of those sort of things. People will learn to appreciate him after this. I guess you would call it, even though they're favored, an upset win because it's Patrick Mahomes.
Okay. All right. So I will be the first to admit I was wrong about the Dallas Cowboys because I've been wrong about the Dallas Cowboys for 28 straight years. So you got me on that one.
Yep.
But before the year started, I did pick the Ravens over the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I stuck with it all year because, to me, the Ravens have been the best team from start to finish this year, as I thought they proved on Christmas night once again at San Francisco. So I'm sticking with my prediction. Ravens win it all. And all they have is the #1 defense in points allowed. They are #1 in takeaways. They are #1 in sacks. Patrick Mahomes is going to be up against it. And it also sounds like, I know it's still, we're too far away to really know what the weather's going to be, to be able to really nail it down. But the long-term projections are it's going to rain during this game on Sunday at Baltimore. Not a cold weather game because the high is going to be 48. So it's going to be rainy, or if not raining. And I don't know how Pat throws the football with the wet football. I don't know if it's going to bother him or not. I don't think it will bother Lamar as much because Lamar can resort to using his legs when necessary. So I think Patrick's going to have a long, hard day. I don't think they're going to be able to run the ball. I just think that Baltimore will prevail fairly convincingly. I'm going to call it 30-20 because I just think they have been the best team. They love playing better teams. Remember what happened when Detroit went to Baltimore? They just destroyed Detroit. In the first half, it was over by halftime. So I'm definitely going Lamar over Patrick. And Richard, I would request with you a dinner bet on this game.
I'll 100% take that. Can we write it? Can somebody take note of this? Because I don't want Skip saying the next day that he didn't make a dinner bet and he didn't. But
no,
Skip,
I proposed it. You have to actually propose it and accept it.
That's what I did. That's what I've done. And then you go the next day and say you didn't do it. But I accept Skip's dinner bet as he proposed. I believe that you're underestimating, and I hear Keyshawn about.
What about Keyshawn?
I hear what Keyshawn's saying about Lamar's efficiency in this last game. He was really efficient. He played well. Patrick Mahomes was also very efficient. Yeah. He had a 91.1.
Against a defense that was using third-string dudes.
I understand. I've seen Patrick Mahomes play the #1 defense in the land, in back-to-back or in 2 Super Bowls, 2 of his 3 Super Bowls, played the #1 defense and played very well. And I just don't see that changing. Regardless of the situation, they have one of the best interior offensive lines in the National Football League. They have 2 of the best guards and center. So if they have to run the ball, if it has to be one of those games, I'm sure they can run that. Isaiah Pacheco runs like somebody who didn't have a lot growing up. And he runs like he's frustrated at the world. And they do have Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He runs the ball well. They will find a way to get it. And again, Patrick Mahomes can do it with his legs just like Lamar can. I mean, obviously a different way. But I don't see the rain changing Patrick Mahomes and saying, oh, man, we're not going to throw the ball, because they've done that. They've had situations where it's snowing or rain, and they've still thrown the ball. And so
both teams are bad weather teams.
Right. So I don't see that being a factor that Skip is saying, oh, it may affect Patrick more than it affects Lamar. I think both of them thrive regardless of situation. I think you're underestimating Kansas City's defense in Spags. I think they have had they are #2 in yards.
I love Spags. I love Spags, and he's done a tremendous job at times calling the defense. But he's also done an horrific job, and you look at it and you sometimes go, man, why would you call that? Why would you put these corners in this situation, off coverage, blitz zero, you bringing the house in situations and leaving guys out on islands all by themselves? I've seen that too. I understand his defense is playing better, but I've seen Spags give up the goods on the defensive side. And the one thing about Todd Monken and company is they do a good job of utilizing Zay Flowers, almost called him Zay Jones, but Zay Flowers, in many different ways of moving him in formations, getting him the football in the slot, putting him on the outside perimeter, getting him the football. And then there's the X factor in OBJ that everybody seems to keep forgetting. Every game he makes 1 or 2 nice plays where that light seems to be coming back on. His health seems to be getting there to a point where you look at him and you say, okay, so you only got 1 or 2 corners, but you got a number. And Mark Andrews is supposed to come back, I believe, in this game. Skip, correct me if I'm wrong. You only got Snead. You only got Snead at the corner. He only can guard one person. There's only Richard Sherman. There's only one person. I got a whole bunch of little weapons that I can play with.
Safety. They got good players. They got good
players. But when we're talking about the matchups, I think the offensive side of the ball for Baltimore at the skill positions are a little greater than the defensive skill positions on Kansas City side. That's just...
I would disagree. I would say Odell has the potential and the capacity to be one of the best receivers in the National Football League. We've seen that over the past. He just hasn't been healthy and hasn't looked 100% this year. And when he does, he looks very explosive. But I think you're underestimating this defense. They're #2 in the land. Baltimore's 1 and deserves all the credit in the world. But they're the #2 defense, and they are #2 in a number of categories for a reason. Chris Jones is a heck of a factor. George Karlaftis has had a really good season. They have guys that can get there and guys that have played in big games consistently. And then offensively, we talk about guys that have had drops throughout the year. They have drop. And then you look last week, and all of a sudden, Valdez-Scantling can catch the ball. He catches an incredible pass over the shoulder. He catches one down the seam. And then all of a sudden, Travis Kelce looks like Travis Kelce again. He has 2 touchdowns, and he could have had 3. Patrick Mahomes missed him early on. But you have guys that have been in these situations before. They have called big games. Todd Monken has never called a game in this situation. Andy Reid is one of the best play callers in the National Football League and is in this situation literally every year. So it's not going to be a big moment for him. He's going to draw up some stuff that they have not seen, and he's going to call a great game. Now, is that going to be good enough to win? We'll see.
I haven't had a steak in a long time, Richard.
You want to throw something on it?
I want to throw something on Lamar winning the MVP. Can I get a steak on that?
You can't get a steak on that. You can get a steak on this game. You want to bet he win this game?
I don't want to get a steak on the game. You already got one with him. I'm just talking about the MVP.
No. I want one on this game.
Why you don't want the MVP?
I want one on this game. Because we sitting there talking about the game. You try to change it up.
No, I'm not. I just wanted to know about the MVP. Could I get a steak on the MVP?
Do you want a steak on the game? I take a steak on the game.
I'm not taking a steak on the game.
Well, I'm not steak.
You already got one with Skip.
Well, I go to crustaceans and get, you know what I mean? I might get 2 meals and then just eat one later. I don't know.
He's scared to take it.
That's not, it's not a fair bet. But look.
Well, it really isn't. But he told me yesterday, on the sidebar, that it was going to be a split vote between Christian McCaffrey and Lamar Jackson.
That would still lose me the bet.
No, it wouldn't.
Like co-winners?
Yeah,
no, that
yeah.
would win you the bet.
Yeah, it would win you the bet.
No, it wouldn't, because
that means
Lamar
that means
still be
Lamar.
MVP.
No, I wouldn't do you like that. I wouldn't trick you like that.
You would.
Okay, I'll make it even better for you. Outright, he wins the MVP.
Okay, I'll take that.
Good.
There we go.
As Skip would say,
Really?
good.
Can I get one? Can I get one on the game now?
No, I'm not giving you one on the game.
But you believe that Baltimore is going to the Super Bowl? You believed it all year.
I'm not giving you one on the game.
But you believed this all year, and it's about to come to fruition. Just give me the bet on the game. Bet against Patrick Mahomes real quick.
No. I'm already betting against him by picking the Ravens.
Richard, can I get a second dinner on this game? Can we do 2 dinners?
Just give me some. Skip, I'll take a second one.
Kick him while he down, Skip.
Thank you.
Down. I will take a second dinner.
Okay.
And while it's happening, I'm gonna send you my order while the game's going on. Like, well, could you just
Really?
order
You're going to
this?
send my... Okay, all right. Okay, so Richard, I got a question. So you made a case, for the last, month, 6 weeks, that Lamar should not be the MVP because he doesn't have MVP caliber stats historically. And you made a good case, a valid case. And you also made a valid case for Christian McCaffrey because his numbers are sensational. I give you that. But Lamar is about the eye test this year that I've thought from start to finish, it was the whole year belonged to him because he became the driving force of the Ravens. He's the backbone of the Ravens. He's obviously the leader of the Ravens. He's the playmaker of the Ravens. And a microcosm was what he did to Houston, especially in the second half, where he took the game over without spectacular stats. Because he threw for 152, but he ran for 100, and he got it in the end zone twice throwing it and twice running it. Mm-hmm. And that's the essence of how he played football all year long. So my question to you is, are you betting against Lamar just because you dug in with your MVP case against Lamar?
I'm betting against Lamar because I've only seen Patrick Mahomes lose in the playoffs to Burrow and Brady. I've only seen him lose one Super Bowl. He's been to 3. I've seen him lose an AFC championship game to Burrow. I've seen him lose to Brady in the AFC championship. I've not seen anybody else send him home with a loss. And so it's not about Lamar. It's about Patrick Mahomes has found a way to win these games regardless of situation, regardless of what's going on, except for those people. And so it's going to take Lamar to send him home. It's going to take a Herculean effort to send him home, which it usually takes Brady. You remember when Brady sent him home, it took 3 3rd and 10s, as you always so eloquently put it.
I know.
To Rob Gronkowski.
I've never seen anything like it before.
Never seen anything like it. Usually to send him home, it takes something that you've never seen anything like. When Burrow sent him home, it was a dogfight. He sent him home. When Brady beat him in the Super Bowl, he was missing his 2 tackles, and Shaq Barrett, JPP, and those boys got after him all game. But outside of those games, he rarely gets sent home with the loss. We intercepted him twice in the game. We had him against the ropes, down 10 points with 7 minutes to go. They run off 21 straight. So, again, this last year, he has a 96.6 QBR, your favorite stat, in the Super Bowl. Skip, 3 touchdowns. Again, he finds a way to get it done in these playoffs. He and Andy Reid draws it up. They make big plays on defense. So You think if y'all had a better quarterback throwing the ball, y'all would have won that Super Bowl against Patrick Mahomes? I think if we would have got some stops, we would have won the Super Bowl.
I think if y'all had a better quarterback throwing the football, y'all probably could have won that game. And in terms of Joe Burrow against Patrick Mahomes, when you said that, it made me think. I'm like, okay, yeah, he beat him. He owned him a couple times, But Lamar done beat Joe. Lamar done beat Joe 4 times in 5 tries. He done got him 4 times. Mm-hmm. So he's capable of beating Patrick Mahomes, just like Josh Allen was capable of doing it. I understand.
Except in the playoffs.
I understand.
Josh Allen has never done it.
I understand what you're saying.
Oh, you do?
But there's a time and a place, okay, that these sort of things, that again, as I said before, Lamar it's destined to happen for him right now in this year, is the way everything is feeling. Here's a guy who statistically, based on the way you see things, he shouldn't be in the MVP conversation at all. But based on my eyes and what that tells me, the most valuable player in the National Football League.
But I'll tell you, I'll take you down a different lane. I'll take you down the lane of when Lamar won MVP and had an incredible season that passed both the statistical test and the eye test. They were the 1 seed. They had an amazing season. And then everything looked like it was Lamar's way. And this looked like the year Baltimore is going to walk through for a Super Bowl.
See, it didn't look like that to me because I'm dealing with a second-year quarterback versus a guy that has some teeth now, who understands the failure moment in 2019 versus where they're at today. It's a totally different situation. The mistakes that he was making trying to throw the football back then, he's not making those same mistakes now. He got a different offensive mindset.
You've only seen him play one playoff game.
Man, I just saw him go to Candlestick on, was it Christmas?
I'm saying you've seen him play one playoff game.
Yeah, but that's okay. I got enough body of work. I got enough body of work and know him well enough to know from a mentality standpoint, it doesn't matter if it's the playoffs or the regular season. No, Richard, we can apply this playoff stuff to those that have not been in the playoffs and failed or had some mild success. He's been in the playoffs before, didn't advance very far. The conversation at the start of the playoffs, can he, as that graphic, little graphic they show, 1 and 3, they had that, like they say, they had that ready to go, already typed up, 1 and 4. They had to delete that and now go to 2 and 3 in the playoffs because they just won a playoff game and he played phenomenal.
Right.
So you can take the next step, okay? The next step. He went on the road, if we go back to Christmas, and annihilated the 49ers. Even though you don't want to give him credit for that win, you want to get a defense credit for that win, but he scored points.
What I'm saying is, I could go back and show you Josh Allen beating Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. I can show him, he beat him repeatedly, 3 out of 4.
Absolutely.
And then I can show you last week.
Absolutely.
And I can show you that as the difference between the regular season and the playoffs.
With this dude, number 8, he's different, though.
I guess we're going to see.
He's different, man. He's different. He's just a different dude. Different.
Okay, so Richard, just to sum it up and to be totally clear, you and I have 2 dinners bet, and I have Lamar.
Make sure somebody is noting this,
right?
Make sure that
this is for the record on tape.
On tape.
Forever and ever, it's a bet.
On Monday, when we're talking about this, and you're like, well, I didn't officially bet. I didn't officially have a dinner on this.
No, I didn't say that.
I got my dinner on MVP, so I'm easy.
On the record.
Thanks for watching, Undisputed fans. Do you want more highlights from the show? Make sure to click that subscribe button for all the exclusive content from Undisputed.